See, that's what I kind of felt about this one. Yeah,
because it's the same here. It's so emotionally stunted. These characters, they can't sit down and talk to each other. All they can do is fight and punch and throw magic at each other.
These people are supposed to be adults.
They're adults. He has gray in his hair. He's in his 40s. Talk. Communicate! Stop fighting! You're risking the multiverse because you can't talk to each other?
Yeah.
What is happening? Hello, and welcome back to the spoilerCast, the show we talk about movies and we don't care about spoiling them, because it's the spoilerCast. Except for today, maybe, because we're talking about a new movie. Today, we're talking about the brand spanking new movie, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And I also want to tell you, we're talking about this on Wednesday, May the 4th.
May the 4th be with you.
Don't. That has been sullied by Disney. Speaking of,
Speaking of.
So, and you can listen to this very day, May the 4th, 2022, if you are a Patreon subscriber. Otherwise, you will, of course, be able to hear it this Saturday, the 7th?
I think so. Something.
7th, yeah. Just so you know, because we get a bunch of exclusive episodes there. You also get early access, and you get monthly commentary tracks, and you also support us in our independent podcasting endeavors. All that for just $3 a month. Please check it out. Links down below or in the description or wherever, you find text where you're listening to this.
And now, we are, of course...
Oh, yes, of course. My name is Tobias. With me is my sister and co-host, Rebecca.
Hello.
And
welcome.
And now we start the discussion. Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
Yes.
We don't need to talk about the story. It's a Marvel movie, so
and also
there's a bad guy and there's a good guy and there's a MacGuffin. In this, there's kind of two MacGuffins, although one of them is a person. And yeah. Well, three MacGuffins, then I suppose.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of jumping around, fighting, CGI monsters, and, you've seen the trailer. You know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and there's a lot of, connections to things. That's one of my major pet peeves with this one.
Yeah, so let's just skip all that and get into what we think of the movie. And let's start with you, because I want to hear what you thought. What did you think of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness?
I honestly kind of thought it was awful.
Okay.
Putting it simply, there are a bunch of reasons.
Yeah.
One of them being, the major one being that you barely understand anything if you haven't seen a bunch of other things, or at least know they exist. Benchmark here is sending my boyfriend in to see this would just completely fail. He wouldn't understand a thing. Because I don't think he's seen any of the, in-between Marvel movies and only seen, the Endgame and whatever the other one's called. Infinity War, basically. And a few of the earlier ones, obviously.
Yeah. You're obviously talking about WandaVision, What If...
Yeah.
And I guess Spider-Man No Way Home?
Yeah, even though that didn't have too much of an impact, really. It's just the introduction of the multiverse, I suppose.
Yeah.
But mainly WandaVision and What If. And for you who might not know this, they are TV shows.
Yeah.
Or series.
Shows, yeah. On Disney Plus.
Yeah. They are not and I'm not sure how many seasons either of them have. I don't know how many episodes.
They all have just one season.
Okay, fine. But still, you have to watch basically the entire season of WandaVision to understand reasons in this film. And to sort of understand some of the characters, you should have watched What If.
I suppose, because I have not seen any of it. I mean, I saw the first episode of WandaVision just to see what it was.
I did not even do that.
I saw the second. I'm not sure. I saw at least the first episode. I haven't seen any of What If. I saw 10 minutes of Loki. I thought that was going to be involved as well because of all the timelines, but that wasn't involved. And I've seen Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
I was a little confused, but I mean, as long as you know as long as you know about the shows and you kind of know what they are about, you're not too. I don't think you're too confused. I suppose I'm kind of scared because I'm starting out defending the movie because I got most of it. Some of it felt like, oh, you're just gonna skip over a lot, but and then I guess that's in the WandaVision show or whatever, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it helped that I watched. Oh God, I need to actually check what that one's called. I did watch a YouTube video, that had like what you need to see before you watch. Here we go. Everything you need to know before watching Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness by Chris and Justin Film on YouTube.
Never heard of him.
No, it's a 30-minute long movie video basically. Pinpointing all the things that happen in all the things that leads up to this.
Yeah.
Which definitely helped. I know nothing about WandaVision.
Oh, okay. Well, I saw enough to kind of figure out what was going on in that show, and you know, I could figure out as we were watching this what happened later in the show. You know?
I mean, I knew she kind of closed herself in some sort of town
fake reality.
Yeah,
but
that's about it.
Yeah. Well, but you know, is there anything else that you didn't like about it? Just to keep move on from that, because we'll get back to the whole what you have to watch and don't have to watch.
Yeah, it was kind of messy because of that, and then some of the characters that they kind of newly introduced, I suppose. Well, one specifically that actually is a new character feels like they just made it up to have something to make a movie out of, like. It's not something that's been mentioned in anything previous, and considering this is a universe, I feel like you should have at least heard of some of it before, like them talking about people being able to travel through the multiverses or whatever. But we've just recently learned of the multiverses, and now we have an entire movie just like too much information, and to make it easier, they give you a character that can explain it perfectly. A new character.
Yeah.
I was like... Yeah, and then also she looked kind of lame. And I thought it would be that new Miss Marvel or something.
Yeah, I thought it was Miss Marvel, but I got that confused because she had a star on her back.
Yeah.
On her jean jacket, but I confused that with the DC show Stargirl, which is a completely different thing.
Oh, right.
So I guess I don't know. I don't watch any of these things. But I was like, oh no, wait, Stargirl's DC. Yeah, right. I know that much at least.
Yeah. That felt kind of like, why did you need to introduce a completely new character? And all she does is that, being a MacGuffin, basically.
Yeah, that's a big problem, because I thought she was going to be the focus of the movie.
Yeah.
Because we can say that the movie starts with Doctor Strange rescuing a girl from a big octopus monster in New York, in present day New York, whatever. And he quickly finds out that she is able to travel through the multiverse, but she can't, and something is chasing her and wants her power because of this. These monsters and demons are chasing her.
Yeah.
They want her multiversal travel power. And, you know, so he has to protect her. That's the, you know, that's
a
the
basic
gist of it.
premise.
Yeah. Then there's some complications, some twists and turns, and a whole bunch of fighting.
Also, the fighting at some points looked so lame.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're getting to that point in the Marvel movies now where you have so much you have so many characters that are basically like have god powers, and there are multiple realities, and you know there are monsters and demons, and now we even have souls and zombies. Which, you know, that raises an interesting question, which they have touched upon a little bit before, but we'll get to that. And it's starting to be a lot. I mean, the movie opens with him fighting this octopus monster. But he was previously at Rachel McAdams' character's wedding when this happened. Whatever her name is, the doctor from the first movie.
Christine Palmer.
Right. and he's like, "Oh shit, gotta go," while he's at the wedding, and people are just comes out to watch the fight, and they're not even like, "Oh my god!" People just pull up their phones.
Yeah, the people who are on like the street. Yeah, sure, they run because they don't want to get crushed.
Yeah. But even her new husband, newly wedded husband, is like, "Oh yeah, Doctor Strange is fighting an octopus." Like, hold on, that's a monster from another dimension. You shouldn't you be worried or surprised? But they're getting used to it.
Yeah,
I suppose after everything that happened with Thanos,
New York being ruined isn't the problem anymore. Like, you can crush buildings. Who cares?
Yeah. So it's starting to get like numb.
Ridiculous.
It's starting to get ridiculous. It's starting to have a numbing effect, not only on us as an audience, but on the characters in the universe. Yeah, and is anything else you want to complain about before I give my?
There was something I was thinking about, but now I forgot it. Yeah, whatever. I'll think of it eventually, probably.
Sure. Well, I'll say this. I am very confused by this movie. Because there were parts of it that I absolutely loved. Some of the best stuff I've seen in a Marvel movie so far. In between those moments, it was so fucking boring and terrible.
Yeah.
That I almost went mad. Anyway, yeah.
Oh, I remember what it was. Fucking fan service bits.
Yes. God in heaven, we'll talk about it in a second. Fuck me, because oh,
I mean, not only because of the dude sitting behind us who screamed and clapped as soon as
that's certainly
anything happened.
Yeah,
but I was like, before he even reacted, I was like, oh shit, this sucks.
Yeah. And it was also kind of spooky, but we'll get to that. Because why we even went to see this movie? Because I don't think we've talked about a Marvel movie. At least not a new Marvel movie ever on this podcast.
No, we've avoided them, and we did do the Avengers 10-year anniversary episode.
Yeah,
that's
as a Patreon episode, which you can check out on patreon.com/don'tmakascene.
I think that's the only one, and we are planning on doing one more.
One more, just because,
Just because.
So we have to talk about Spider-Man.
We've dragged it out for so long. We have to do it now.
Yes. But this one, I actually wanted to go see this one. And that's the first time in over 4 years that I actually wanted to see a Marvel movie, because this was directed by Sam Raimi, and he hasn't directed a movie since 2013 when he did Oz the Great and Powerful. The only thing he's directed since then is, I think, the first 2 episodes, or maybe even the first episode only, of Ash versus Evil Dead, or whatever it's called. Yeah. The TV show.
He did 1 episode there, yes. And then he did a short, couple of episodes in a TV show called 50 States of Fright. And a couple of episodes in a TV show called Rake.
Huh, okay. I didn't even know about that. But this was his first movie in almost 10 years. 9 years. And I am a huge fan of him. And basically all of his movies. I mean, we recently did a commentary track for the Evil Dead remake, which you can also check out on patreon.com/don'tmakascene, where we talked about the remake, but we mostly talked about the originals and Sam Raimi and his impact on, horror movies. I've been watching his movies for over 20 years at this point. I was way too young when I saw Evil Dead. So I wanted to see this, and I also wanted to see, because this is the first time. Well, it's not the first time, but it's a rare occasion where they've hired a director that has a unique style, or a voice, a vision.
Yes.
Which you can, because you can instantly tell when you're watching a Sam Raimi movie that, hey, this is a Sam Raimi movie, if you know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see if Kevin Feige, Marvel, and Disney would actually let him make a Sam Raimi movie, or if they were going to try to make him, force him to make a Marvel movie. Because we've had that before. We've had young up and coming directors with a voice, with a style, who have just, they've just made, it's a Marvel
movie.
And you've had seasoned directors with a style, with a voice, who have quit because of, creative differences. Edgar Wright famously quit Ant-Man.
Right. I think the only director I can think of within the Marvel universe where I can tell, it's your movie, more or less, is, oh my god, what's his name?
What's the movie?
The Thor movies. Well, the
last
ones.
Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
It has some of his humor, but I mean, if you look at, he hasn't directed that many movies, but
but that has like, at least he got to do a project. It has
moments where it feels like his movie.
Yeah, and he got to do a project where it fits his style.
Yeah.
Because you can actually do a bit of humor and have fun with it and add colors and shit. Like,
yeah.
Had he done like Civil War, that would not have worked.
No. That was actually a good director for that movie.
Exactly.
There was still a bunch of mind-numbing action in that movie, but there were moments where like, look, it's a Taika Waititi movie.
Yeah, at least you can sort of feel it. I can't say that I felt any of Sam Raimi in this one.
Oh, really? Because that was my big, like, where I actually liked this movie. There was so much Sam Raimi in this.
It might have been too long since I saw a Sam Raimi movie.
Okay.
And I might have also been too distracted by all the random shit that I was trying to keep track of. Okay. So that might have been why, but I couldn't really, like, instantaneously pick up, like, ooh, that's Sam Raimi. No, not really, unfortunately.
Yeah, because there was so much, it's like,
I guess some of the zombie parts kind of felt like him.
Yeah.
That's because I know him from zombies.
Yeah. And that's also brings up a question, like, did they pick Sam Raimi because the material fit him? Or did they actually let him, have ideas for the movie? Because some of the stuff was just way out there. Yeah. And I felt like this feels a lot like a Sam Raimi movie, but at the same time, what if they previous this scene 4 years ago, and he is only putting his name on it? I don't know, because they've done that before. Yeah. But I'm gonna give them benefit of the doubt and say that he had an influence on what happened in the movie and the style of the movie, because you had the very, very creative camera work, a lot of spinning around and upside down and POV shots from demons, and
some of the camera work though looked kind of cheap.
Some of it, yeah, but that's
the silly zoom-ins.
Yeah, but that's exactly, but that's his style.
Maybe it is.
Do you remember like the best, like, I guess, mainstream example of that? Do you remember in Spider-Man 2, the old Spider-Man 2? Yeah. The Octopus movie, Dr. Octopus movie. Where they're trying to remove his arms after the accident, and for like 4 minutes it turns into a horror movie where the arms are killing all the doctors.
Oh yeah.
That's like a little mini Sam Raimi movie inside of a Sam Raimi movie. Because there also you have all the POV shots of the arms, you have the shadows and, people being dragged into the shadows, you have the fast zoom-ins, you have the chainsaw coming up,
Yeah, that's true.
And you had a lot of that, it was even like, arms pulling people through little water puddles.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
You had all those weird zoom-ins and the music stings.
Yeah, but sometimes it felt like it didn't fit. Some of the zoom-ins, like, that were kind of random, that weren't in those, like, horror moments. Yeah. It's just like, this just looks like one of those telenovelas, like, in zoom.
Yeah, well, that's part of his style.
Yeah, but it didn't feel right.
I guess.
Because then you had the very cool his style with the traveling through mirrors. To not spoil too much. Yeah. And the crawling out and the arms, that looked cool.
Yeah. And there's even like some nods to his earlier movies, because we do have a liquid mirror that someone puts their hand through. Yeah. Which is, of course, happens in both the first and second Evil Dead movie. Right. And there were even some camera moves even had sound to them. Like, or I guess the object that moves past. Like when the camera, towards the end, when he's walking up the stairs in the other his house is called. Yeah. The other universe.
Sanctum.
Yeah, the other sanctum. The camera moves through the railing of the staircase, and you hear a whoa as it's passing the railing. A bunch of stuff like that, just to add this weird aura to the movie. He does that a lot in his movies.
Yeah.
And you saw the peas when the peas were rolling on the plate.
Yeah.
You could hear them roll.
It's true.
It was a lot of that. They even had a lamp laughing, which is a big Evil Dead reference. The first time the other Wanda gets possessed. Spoilers.
I did not realize that.
Okay. It's very small. You see the lamp in here. Yeah.
I don't think I connected that was the lamp laughing, I suppose.
Oh, okay.
I was like, yeah, that's just, the madness.
A lot of that, I liked it because I'm a fan of Sam Raimi, but at a certain point I started thinking, are they just trying to, are they fan-servicing Sam Raimi fans now? Not just Marvel fans? Because I was like, it was almost overload at some points with all the weird stuff.
Yeah. At the point where we get to the music fight...
Yeah.
I was like, stop.
I kind of liked that one. It was a little too much, but I did like it because, it was inventive. It was something different. They used music to fight.
Yeah, but it was also super dorky.
Oh, very stupid. Very, very stupid.
That's another thing, though.
That's another thing about this movie, and that's why I wanted to sit and see who made the music, because the music actually mattered in this movie.
Sure.
You could actually hear the music, and it felt, not always, but definitely more than other Marvel movies, it had a personality to it. It felt like it fit the movie. It wasn't It wasn't just bum 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 chasing.
But
it was weird. It fit the tone of the movie.
I could never have guessed.
Okay, because it was Danny, and about halfway through the movie, I was like, is this Danny Elfman?
Yeah, I did not.
It sounded like Danny Elfman, and I knew that he had done music for these movies before, but you could never hear that it was him then. But here you could almost hear it, so I was like, we gotta stay at least long enough to see if this was Danny Elfman, and it was.
Yeah. No, I did not pick up on him. I just figured, they're actually just putting effort in.
Yeah, and they even had those, silly bum horror stings. I thought that was fun. And even in the movie sometimes, when he put his hands on the piano.
Yeah.
Which was, it was fun. All that stuff was fun.
I thought it was a bit too much,
of course, honest. The inclusion of actual demons from hell with creepy voices,
That's the one thing I liked, basically, about this movie.
Yeah.
Was the the details surrounding Wanda towards the end and all the horror elements.
Yes. There was even one jump scare that actually kind of got me.
Oh yeah, I jumped at one point. I did. I don't remember what actually happened. Oh yeah, no, I know. When she sticks out her hand through the rubble.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that's when I jumped.
There were two then. When they're running through the tunnels towards the Visha.
Oh yeah.
That was one jump scare.
Yeah, and that was really nice. It was very much horror, but in a good way.
Yeah.
But I don't think I didn't jump there for some reason.
I reacted to it. Okay, so that's everything I like about the movie. The visuals, that Sam Raimi flair to some of the scenes, and the music. Everything else was pretty much terrible. Yeah.
The story, you go to see a movie like this for the story, and the story is just confusing trash.
Sucked. It sucked. And it also has that problem, which I have been talking about since Civil War, where and maybe even earlier than that, but where there are so many characters. Oh my god. Excuse me. There are so many characters in this franchise now that they're so overpowered that I don't understand how they can even make coherent movies anymore. I mean, just in this movie, you have a villain that can literally control reality.
Yeah. I think I said that as soon as they started introducing Thanos, I was like, well, we have a planet killer.
Yeah.
How are we gonna defeat a planet killer?
Yeah.
And now they've gone even further with the Eternals and Wanda and whoever the Eternals serve or whatever. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen that movie, so I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I'll get to that detail later.
yeah. And I mean, you have, even though his powers weren't realized until the third movie, you have a literal god in Thor.
Oh, yeah.
And you had Vision, even though he's dead now, which was basically like a sentient robot with the powers of a god.
Yeah.
But still,
how are you gonna top this?
Yeah, how are you gonna top it? And also, why isn't every fight just when one of these characters are involved? Why isn't every fight just and everything stops existing?
Yeah,
because they did use that a couple of times in this movie. Should we just start talking spoilers? Because
yes, I think let's do it like this. I registered this movie as a half star on Letterboxd because I think it is utter trash solely because of the confusion and the story. Yeah. It's unfortunate that it has some of the coolest characters and some of the coolest like visuals in general.
Yeah.
It's bogged down by this trash fucking storyline,
yeah.
and
it's because it's a story that doesn't lead anywhere.
No.
Where it doesn't
it's
go
not even
anywhere.
It's not even like just a loop that it starts over where it was. It just okay, yeah, 1 minute happened and one thing changed, basically.
Yeah, what this is, like, you needed the first 20 minutes and you needed the last 5 minutes.
Basically.
Like in many Marvel movies. If they would have just sat down and talked, everything could have been resolved. All the action, all the destruction, all the death in the other 2 hours of the movie it's just unnecessary. And when they finally get to the conclusion, then you're like, yeah, exactly. Why didn't you just realize this in the beginning?
Well, we'll be nice. Let's give it the rest hour and a half because it is only 2 hours long.
Yes,
that's a tiny little plus in the corner.
But
it's only 2 hours.
It definitely felt longer. You were looking at your watch a couple of times, and I was like, aren't we, like, done soon?
Well, it was also because we saw the theater we saw it in. I mean, there was a couple of, like, sneak preview things that just dragged on a little bit, so I think we actually started watching the movie, like, 30 minutes later than the actual time. So I was a bit thrown off. I was like, haven't we seen 2 hours by now? But no, we hadn't seen 2 hours of this movie. We'd only seen an hour and a half.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So that fucked with your time a bit, but it did feel long.
It felt its length.
Yeah, almost
so
longer.
I was glad
somehow.
It wasn't longer than 2 hours. I gave it
probably.
What?
They could have probably added more shit if they wanted to.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Thank God they didn't.
I gave it a 2 out of 5, which I might, after this discussion, lower. Because, like I said, I did love a lot of the technical aspects of it.
Sure.
The cinematography and the music and the direction and stuff like that. But everything else was just terrible. So that's our, like, wrap up, if you want. Like, I can't recommend this other than if you're a fanboy of Marvel. I
mean, if you want to know everything that happens, then you kind of have to watch it.
Yeah. Because much like Spider-Man No Way Home, this is an expositional movie. It exists to introduce a couple of characters that are going to be important later.
Yeah, it's and to like show you what is going, what this opens up for other things in the next movies.
Yeah, it doesn't work as its own movie because nothing happens in the movie. Yeah. So unfortunate, but I wasn't super surprised by the awfulness.
No. So
now,
spoilers
from here on. If you don't want any spoilers, stop listening now.
And come back after you've watched the movie.
Yeah, exactly. But don't forget, check us out, Patreon. Subscribe
and all that
stuff.
Likes, comments.
Yes, spoilers.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye.
Everyone else.
Hello. And welcome to the Why Isn't Wanda, Destroying the World hour. Because Wanda can literally do whatever she wants with her powers. There are no limits to her powers. At least not that they have established in the movies.
I think her emotions are like the only stopping her.
Yeah, well, in this one, she is not being governed by her, at least not emotions to, like, stop her from doing things.
No.
This one,
she has one emotion, and that's all she wants to focus on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Loving her children.
she isn't hindered by, like, oh no, I can't kill people. In this movie, she does not care.
No,
this is a completely different character from the one that we saw in Civil War.
Yes.
Who accidentally killed 11 people and said, I'll never use my powers again. Now she's ready to destroy entire universes just so she can be with her 2 children that aren't even hers, technically.
Yeah.
And she's also, like I said, she's a character that can control reality.
Throughout the multiverse, in ways,
but that's not her power. That's because of that book she had.
Yeah.
But so when she first goes to the Camartage or whatever it's called, the stronghold for the wizards, she starts by throwing little red things at them because pew 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 pew. It's
yeah.
Instead of just saying be dust and everyone turns to dust. Why? I think she talks about being merciful and like being lenient, but
at the same time, they haven't really explained properly what her powers are. I mean, she can manipulate minds and she can manipulate reality.
They have said she can manipulate reality.
But can she just turn people to dust?
She turned what's his name? Stretchy guy from Fantastic Four. She turned him into strings.
That's true.
Yeah.
But does the Doctor Strange magic kind of block certain abilities?
But Doctor Strange's magic is physical.
Yeah, that's true.
Which we found out in Spider-Man, that all the with the mirrors and the things. It's a physical. It's still within the laws of physics.
Right, because he can he uses geometry to stop Doctor Strange.
It's bending the rules of physics, but it's still geometry.
Yeah.
Which I thought was super silly in that
movie. Why did she not just go, be still, and everyone just freezes and she can just walk past them?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I always.
Because she doesn't even have to. She doesn't have to turn into dust. She doesn't have to kill them. She can just go freeze.
Yeah. Stop. Or
stop time for a few minutes on each person in their brain or whatever.
I don't know if she can control time. I don't know if time is separate from reality.
Make them stiff.
Yeah, make them freeze. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or she could just teleport behind their fucking walls of magic.
Yeah.
What's stopping her?
Exactly. That's what I said, I think, when she was in the war with Thanos. I was like, why doesn't she just go snap and he's gone?
Yeah, or like in this movie when she makes Mr. Mute guy, whatever his name was. They introduce some weird guy who can like.
The tuning fork.
Yeah, the tuning fork guy, the fork man.
Whatever his name was.
She makes his mouth disappear.
Yeah.
Without even like doing this with her hands, she just makes his mouth disappear.
Why did she not reverse the blip?
The what?
The blip.
What
the
blip?
One where everyone disappeared for 5 years. She could have just snapped her fingers and reversed that then, probably.
No, because they are not. They cease to exist. They're not in reality anymore. That's different.
But I mean, she could have stopped Thanos by just making his hand disappear.
Yes, exactly, and that's what I've always wondered. Like, maybe you could say she was like keeping her powers back because she didn't want to, ruin anything. But at this point, when all she cares about is being with her children, why doesn't she just say, like, be gone, move?
Yeah.
And just grab the girl who has the multiverse travel powers and be done with it.
Yeah.
It's these arbitrary, like, things they have to nerf her powers when it's convenient so that the movie can continue, and I hate that. They shouldn't have given her those powers to begin with then, or put some sort of
limit on it somehow. Yeah, give her something that restrains her.
She can only she can only bend reality. She can't alter reality. Which, but she does. In this movie, she does. And they have said she has power of, over reality. They've said that before. So, and we do, I said, we do see her use those powers in this movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's always bothered me. And it's something I think, it's something that, an apologist would just say, well, they kind of have to do that, otherwise it wouldn't be a movie. Yeah, well then you shouldn't have introduced that character into the story.
We've said that before. You shouldn't have to say that to explain something.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to retcon stuff like, she can't use her powers because this. No, that's not it.
Also, based on what I saw in that YouTube video I mentioned earlier, she has literally become the Scarlet Witch now.
Yeah.
Which is prophesied to be the either destroyer or savior of the entire universe. Multiverse even.
Yeah.
And before we knew that part, we knew that she was, like, if in WandaVision, apparently, they explained that, the Scarlet Witch is the stuff of legends.
Yeah.
She's the most powerful being in the entire multiverse, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, in a way, sure, they didn't do the really, really bad thing where someone who should not be able to kill her manages to kill her.
Well, that's least. True. Yeah. No one was able to defeat her. Which was another Sam Raimi thing, because if you look at all of his superhero movies, the Spider-Man movies, I think even Darkman has that, and also, Oz, the Great and Powerful, his villains always kind of realize, the folly of their ways and defeat themselves.
Yes.
Like you have Norman Osborn in the first Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He gets hubris and tries to fool Spider-Man that he's nice again, and then to stab him with his hoverboard.
Yeah, and then impales himself.
But then he stabs himself. Dr. Octopus, of course, realized that the power of the sun can't be contained by a mere man, so he drags it to the bottom of the river,
right?
And killing himself, of course, because he's the only one who can do it. And in the third movie, of course, Spider-Man imprisons Venom, with the rebars,
right?
So and makes the sound so he can't control himself. And then when he's about to destroy the symbiote virus or whatever it is with a grenade, Eddie Brock jumps on the grenade because he wants the power too much. He's blinded by the power. They always kill themselves.
Yeah.
Same thing here. She realized that, like, finally in the end, she realized that maybe sacrificing entire universes and killing dozens of people is not the right thing to do just to make yourself happy. So she takes herself out of the equation.
Yeah. That is...
Because she's too dangerous. Because she might not be able to control it eventually.
Yeah, which is... Finally, at least they solved an issue.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we've had people who are basically impossible to stop being stopped by people that should not be able to.
Yeah.
Like Hawkeye and Black Widow, they should not be able to fight the people they are able to fight.
Yeah.
That's just bullshit.
They usually don't do much when they fight, like, interdimensional
No, but, like, when we
powers.
have in Civil War, they actually do fight a little bit. And I'm like,
it's so
I'm sorry,
silly.
but, like...
What are you doing in this fight with a god?
Yeah.
And a sentient robot with god powers? So what are you doing here?
Yeah, like, even King T'Challa and, like, Black Panther is way more powerful than little Hawkman.
Yeah, I know.
Like... No, just
which
no.
Which they kind of made fun in this one when Strange tries to recruit Wanda in the beginning. She's like, there are a bunch of other Avengers. He was like, yeah, well, the Arrow guy
with the mohawk
can't really do much here. How about I use whatever various insect-themed superheroes we have.
Yeah.
What do they have against the most powerful witch in the universe?
Yeah, because by now we have the Ant-Man, the Wasp,
Spider-Man.
The Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Gosh darn it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, because everyone else is, I don't know, fucking dead or something.
I don't know. They're in space.
Yeah, or somewhere.
Thor is in space. Guardians of the Galaxy is in space.
Captain Marvel never has time to really come to Earth and help people because
exactly.
She needed a whole movie and introduction, but she's never around. Cool.
She's always somewhere else.
Yeah. What was the point of her then? Again, her also. She's more or less like one of the most powerful beings.
Yeah, we meet an alternate Captain Marvel here, which is her friend from the original Captain Marvel, right?
Yes, I think so.
And they introduce her like the strongest Avenger or something?
Yeah. Which, I mean, yeah, she can move. I think she can move planets? I'm not sure.
She's very strong, at least,
Yeah.
But I
don't remember exactly.
Yeah. She has strong powers.
That was part of what confused me a little bit, because in WandaVision, Captain Marvel's best friend's daughter, the kid.
Yeah.
She is the, whatever are they called in WandaVision? Sword or something. Another organization that fight them. She is the one who infiltrates and becomes friends with Wanda before Wanda realizes, oh, but you work for them, so fuck you, and pushes her out. Oh. That's apparently like a connection to Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Is it? I was like, is that her? No, it can't be. But I think it's her mom. Technically.
Isn't it Lashana Lynch?
You know what? IMDb is not updated on the fucking cast list.
Oh. I think it was Lashana Lynch, because I recognized her from the latest Bond movie, where she plays the new 007 agent.
Probably.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, so you have that big problem, and that's always going to be a big problem for me. Other than that, like I said, the whole thing of the movie is that Wanda wants to be with her children, and I'm guessing
the children that she created in her mind, basically. Yeah. In WandaVision,
in that fake town she lived in. Yeah. Yeah, she never had children.
No. Because Vision died. And who did have... She did... In WandaVision, she had children with Vision somehow.
Oh, okay. So, like I said, I didn't finish that show, but I realized that, by the second episode, they're hinting a lot at this. She's, like, either trapped or imprisoned or something in a fake reality.
Yeah, no, she has imprisoned everyone within it. She's the one controlling it, apparently. Yeah. See, this is all I learned from the video.
Yeah, sure. So I understand that. Okay, so she never, because she's pregnant in that show, but that was all a dream, basically. She created a dream reality.
So that's also weird, because then the kids technically don't exist.
Yeah, but in this movie, she knows they exist in other universes.
Is she still in View Will or whatever it's called in WandaVision then? In the other universes? Or how, like...
No. Yeah, that's another thing.
Because it's the house that she visits in the other universes when she visits her kids are in that house within the WandaVision reality.
That's another question then. How can she be sure that Vision wasn't killed in the other universes and her children never existed because of it? Is it that she just found specific universes where he didn't die, so they did have children?
Or are they still creations by her mind?
But then why can't she just create them again here in our universe?
I don't know.
Because the other Wandas we see in other universes also seem to be a single mother. We never see Vision. We just see the children. No. So he is dead in the other universes. But so where did the children come from?
Exactly.
I didn't even think of that.
Even
I hadn't seen WandaVision.
Even in WandaVision, he does die.
Yeah, because he dies when they're fighting. He dies before the snap, right?
Yeah, but he dies in the TV show as well. In that her little sacred universe, he dies in that too.
But that's because it's all her imagination.
Yeah, but his even weirder. Her imagining of Vision becomes sentient enough to know that I am just a figment of your imagination.
Oh. What?
Yeah. Apparently.
Okay.
So, and then there is a part where the sentient her version fights a recreated version from outside of the fantasy that is void, basically.
Okay.
so there's a white void vision fighting her imaginative sentient vision, and they kind of destroy each other, if I remember correctly.
Is there any indication that the children exists in a real reality somewhere?
Not that I understand, no.
So
what's the point?
What, yeah.
Like you said, why not just create them again?
And live in that fantasy.
Just make it smaller. Don't pull anyone else in it.
Yeah.
Like she did when Doctor Strange comes to visit her in the beginning of this movie.
Yeah.
When she's in the orchard and it turns out not to be an orchard because, it's all burnt down anyways. Why shouldn't you just make him exist there and live happily there? This is why you need to have watched single thing, because maybe you'll understand it better then.
But then also...
But that's dumb.
Why is she so sure that the children exists in other realities?
Because she dreams them, and dreams are visions of the other realities.
Oh, right, okay, she dreamed, okay.
But
she dreamed them.
She dreamed them then within her created reality.
Yeah, but that's still her dream, because, dreams are still figments of imagination, It's not just other realities, I suppose.
Well, it seems like it in this case.
Yeah, but, whatever. Okay.
Because, America never dreams. Also, just to kind of get away from that discussion, because we're just going to go in loops, why the fuck did they have to name the character America? It sounded like they wanted to save the country.
No, I know, but I think America is a really cool name. I know a few people, I don't know them, but in
actors
pop
and
culture,
stuff.
Actors, game makers, whatever, that are called America or even American. There's a guy called American McGee who made a couple of video games. He made the Alice games.
Oh, right, yeah.
He's called American McGee. That's his name.
I mean, yeah, sure, it's a cool name.
That's cool.
But
American Chavez is a cool name.
When they said it here, it's like, we need to save America. and some of the, we can't... It sounded like they were talking about America as the country at certain points.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me, because I like that name.
I know that America is a young country and they don't know much yet, and we have to give them space to learn and grow.
I don't think that was,
no, but it sounded stupid.
Yeah. However, so let's not care about the plot holes with Wanda.
Because we can't explain them.
Yeah, we can't explain them. I don't think they can really explain them either. There's a lot of... No. Well, I guess they exist in other realities. Whatever.
Yeah.
Even though Vision seems to be dead in the other realities as well. I don't care. Whatever. Let's move on then to the new character in this movie, which is America Chavez.
Yes.
The multiverse traveler.
The Star Child.
The Star Child, yeah. She's introduced in the beginning. And she is, she's the one, the child, the only one in the multiverse with the power to travel through the universes.
Yes. She is the...
As far as we know so far.
As far as we know, because there is no more versions of her. She is the singular version of herself, as far as she's looked, and she's been in 73.
76 or, something like that. Yeah.
However,
she doesn't exist anywhere else, yeah.
We do know that there are over 900 versions because of... Dr. Palmer's,
in that universe
naming.
Where they end up in number 600 something.
No, they're in 900 something, and the original one that we watch in the movies is 600 something.
Okay, yeah.
Which also, yeah. I guess there are 14,000 because Doctor Strange sees 14,000 results of the fight.
But technically, there should be an infinite number of universes.
Yeah.
Since because everyone there's always the universe is infinite.
Yeah.
Our universe in reality.
Yeah.
But what lies beyond the universe? Well, that's where multiverse theory comes from. Beyond our infinite universe, there are other universes.
There are infinite numbers of other universes.
Exactly. But then, what lies beyond the multiverses? That's I think at some point we need to stop.
Yeah.
Let's stick to one universe when we talk physics and science and whatever. But whatever.
As long as we can't travel between them, we only know the one we are in.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's keep it at that.
That's beside the point.
But yes, America can travel through the multiverses.
Yeah, she shows up, and she needs Doctor Strange's help. because she has these immense powers, which she can open portals to the multiverse. And someone wants to take it from her. You know, if a power like that comes into the wrong hands, that could have dire consequences.
Also,
which we find out, you know.
She figured out that if they take her power, she dies. So she doesn't want to die.
If you take someone's power, they die. I don't know. Okay.
I guess
I don't know why that would happen, but yeah, because, you know, Rogue can take other people's powers, and that doesn't kill them. Well, I guess it kind of does, actually. If you take
it hurts them,
powers.
At least.
Yeah, it hurts them. So, okay, fine, you die when you take their power. But then, she kind of doesn't do anything in the movie. Because all through the movie, she's like, I can't control the power yet. It only happens when I'm scared. Okay. And then the entire movie is just basically a long chase where they're trying to run away from Wanda.
Yeah.
Or Scarlet Witch. And they get stuck at one point and they catch up to her, and then they kind of fight her in the end a little bit.
Yeah.
Imagine that makes the movie feel very like rushed. They never stop to like talk about things, even though there is a bunch of exposition, which
sure
is like, at one point. But there's always this, we gotta move on, which is always the thing. Like, instead of explaining all these very, very like complex ideas about multiverses and reality and how you can control reality and magic, and no time to waste, let's move on, you know.
Yeah.
Imagine instead if this movie, she arrives in our universe one dark and stormy night, chased by a monster. Doctor Strange stops, and he actually takes her under his wing, and they try to figure out how she can control her power.
Yeah,
that would have been interesting.
And even if they're chased, like, actually just hide her while you train.
Yeah, and you can explore the idea of the multiverse more than you do in this. Like, what does it actually mean? We get little snippets. We get to see other universes. We get to see, you know, alternate realities where, you know, there was never any Captain America. Instead, we had Captain Carter from What If. And you know, where Brie Larson ever became Captain Marvel. Her friend became Captain Marvel because, you know, they were both on that mission. So
there's one where everything is just paint.
Yeah. Also,
whatever
that's also
that
the thing.
means.
Like, the two universes we actually stay in for extended periods of time are not that different from ours.
No.
Well, I guess the one that has kind of collapsed a little bit is different.
But it's still a normal one that has collapsed into another one, more or less.
Yeah. So it's always, we always get like snippets and glimpses into these really cool concepts in these movies. But then we're like, oh, we gotta move on to something that mostly resembles our world.
Because it's easier to... I think it's just because it's easier to digest.
Of course. But then why even tease us with these powers if you're not going to give us, a whole movie that takes place in the paint universe, where everything is just liquid paint.
Yeah.
Or the animated universe, where everything became 2D animated for a second.
Isn't that What If?
It might be. I don't know.
I think What If is animated. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but Captain Carter is from What If. I think that show was just animated because it's cheaper.
Yeah, but like I'm hoping that's why they chose to show that there is a reason that
I don't think
is
that's
the connection.
You know, the reason the What If show is animated, it's just budgetary.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they have to, because that has a bunch of different. Because Captain Carter is in that show.
Yeah, no,
so
I know.
That wouldn't make sense.
And Zombie Strange is also in that show, as far as I know.
That's an anthology show. Whatever. And the whole thing where everything is cubes, so he turns into cubes for a second. Really cool, but you know, you can't really make a movie about it. So
no.
I can see why, but then don't tease us with it.
No. I mean, I do like the one that they do end up walking through a bit, where everything seems to be flowers for some reason. Like, everywhere's just green. They're in New York City, but everything is just, there's flowers everywhere, there's greenery everywhere.
But
everyone are wearing hats.
Yeah, and gray clothes.
Yeah.
And red means go, green means stop.
Yeah. And people looked at them weird because they were not wearing hats.
Yeah.
What? Kind of like that. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, and then we spend a lot of time in that universe, because in that universe, Doctor Strange was actually not a bad guy, but he was, a reckless Avenger, and he destroyed another universe by, exploring the multiverse through that.
Yeah, he
dark
became
book, whatever,
obsessed.
Yeah,
basically by the Darkhold.
Which is a book I guess they introduced in this. Yeah, the Book of Vishanti and the Darkholder are two books, the bad book and the good book.
Yeah, MacGuffins.
Yeah, because they exist now, because then they can actually kind of travel through the universes without the Traveler.
One of them might have been mentioned in WandaVision. I'm not sure.
Okay, maybe, I don't know.
Because there's another witch in that TV show. She played by what's her name?
The housewife from Step Brothers.
Yeah.
Who's in love with Dale?
Yeah, the brother's wife. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love her.
Yeah, she's so funny. I wish she was in more stuff. Anyway,
so the Darkhold might be involved already there, but again, I don't know.
Yeah. But so you have all these things, and what we get is we need to run.
Yeah.
Oh no, Wanda's coming. She's gonna kill this new character. Do we ever get to know anything about her? Not really. We know that she accidentally discovered her powers when she was young, when she got scared.
Sent her mothers away into another universe.
She herself got sucked into the multiverse, and her two mothers were sucked in. So they're gone, probably dead, but they hint that they're probably alive, so they're gonna show up in another movie.
Yeah. It's gonna be Star-Lord all over again.
Yeah,
and find out who his real parents are.
Yeah, but we don't really know what she did, because she was young in that one, young enough that they had another actress.
Yes.
To portray her. So, and I'm guessing Wanda hasn't been chasing her for her entire life, because Wanda just found out about the multiverse.
Yeah.
In WandaVision, which happened last year or whatever. So we don't know what she's been doing in the other years. I guess she's been looking for herself.
Her mothers, I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. But we don't really know much about her.
Yeah, and also, she's now a teenager. So let's say it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
And she's only been to 73 realities?
Yeah. And, they don't explain, how is she, Well, yeah, I was going to say, damn it, they did actually explain that away with a silly... Because I was going to say, how did she, live and eat?
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't have... But they do explain that in most universes, money doesn't exist. It's like, oh, okay, whatever.
Which, that's just a detail to kind of close the loophole a tiny bit.
Yeah. That's how she
One
survived
of the
all
dumb
these years.
loopholes that we don't care about.
Yeah. But
also,
she shows...
They introduce her... When we see that little snippet of her past life when that happens, they're on this weird place that looks like one of the planets in the Guardians of the Galaxy bits.
Yeah, it's a big, garden planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all wearing blue, and they have these star marks. So perhaps everyone in that reality, in that specific location, are able to jump through. Or is that something they know of?
But then she would have... her mothers would have found her by now then.
Yeah, I suppose. But I mean, why does it show up as a star, and why are they wearing stars then? What's with the stars?
Well, they're going to explain that later on in another movie in 4 years.
Yeah, when she finally gets her movie.
When we have a bunch of multiverse travelers, and there's an entire planet of them out there.
Yeah.
Oh, but why didn't anyone come and help her when she, Oh, we retconned that. They exist now. They didn't exist before, now they do.
They didn't know she disappeared.
Yeah, something dumb like that is going to happen. But we don't know, we don't know anything about her. She's a girl. Her mom's got sucked into the multiverse. That's it.
That's it, yes. And her power is coveted by Doctor Strange and Wanda.
Yeah, she doesn't have a personality.
Not really,
She doesn't have, any real agency. She doesn't do anything in the movie because she can't control the power until the very end.
Yeah.
In the...
And also, the way she learned to control it is just by Doctor Strange saying, "But you can. You can control it. You've been able to do it all along."
Which was so dumb.
And she just snaps her fingers and is done.
Yeah, like, it was always in your powers. You just didn't know it.
That's not how it works.
And now she can perfectly use it. She can use it to punch people, and yeah, it was so dumb.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
Yeah, the new character is completely pointless, and I like the only reason we don't care about her as a person, we only care about her as a power, MacGuffin. As a MacGuffin. Yeah. So it was like, whatever, just kill her and be done with it. Why do you care? Like, and that's another thing. They're always like, we can't do that. Like, we can't just sacrifice a little girl so that Wanda doesn't get the powers. Yeah, but if Wanda gets the powers, she can destroy universes.
And that kid is gonna die either way.
Yeah. Isn't it okay to sacrifice one girl to save the multiverse?
Isn't that what they say in some of the earlier Marvel movies, though? That sometimes you need to, like, sacrifice the few to save the many.
Well, I think that's Thanos. He kind of has that logic, which, no, that doesn't work. Even though in Endgame, they kind of say that, you know, the Earth is feeling a lot better because there's less people, there are less cars, less exhaust. Knows. Yeah, it's just that but that's the only proper solution to save planet Earth from total destruction. We need to stop having children and people to die. Humanity is a plague. We spread like cancer over Earth. Why do you think diseases and natural disasters happen? To try and even the field. We're the only species on this planet, now I'm talking in real life, that has a negative effect on the planet. Yeah. like, we suck. Thanos was a hero in my eyes. Huh? Thanos was a hero in my eyes. Yeah, he did the right thing. I mean, and he doesn't choose. It's random. Yeah, but when he controls the Infinity Glove or whatever it's called, Infinity Gauntlet, he could have just, he could have fixed that. I mean, he could have fixed it the other way around, making the Earth, I don't know, 2 times bigger then. Yeah, or 2 times more of the resources and whatever. Yeah. Sure, but that's no fun. It's more fun than no one will learn the lesson. Yeah, sure, yeah. I don't know how we got there. Yeah, but it's this whole thing, they can't just like, oh no, we need to save this one poor girl and risk the entire universes. All of the universes. Yeah. Because of one girl. Yeah. And that's also this one thing that happens a lot in these movies. Like, if they would just sit down and discuss things for a little while, they wouldn't have to fight each other all the time. Yeah. Like, the classic one is, of course, Civil War, where they do sit down and talk about this, the Accord. Yeah. That will make the UN control the Avengers. Yeah. And they're like, I agree. Well, I disagree. Okay, let's talk about it. No, I'm gonna leave. And then, I gotta fight you because you're trying to kill my friend. Yeah, but cool. Stop. Hold on. We gotta talk about this. Why don't you want to do it, and why do you want to do it? Can't we compromise? Is there any way we can, like, move certain details around and maybe solve it? Same thing in this movie, because, it starts with Wanda telling Doctor Strange, like, I want her power so I can have my children. And he's like, well, you can't have her. It's too dangerous, and you can't kill her. And we have all this long movie just to, at the end, arrive at... I guess that's one big thing that America does. She shows Wanda that if you try to, like, take the children from another reality, they're gonna hate you because you're not their mother. You're not their Wanda. Because you're come from another reality. Yeah, you might as well be another person. Yeah. And which they could have talked about it and shown her earlier. Yeah, specifically because she can fucking dreamwalk and shit. I was thinking of that when they were walking around in her orchard there in the beginning before we know she's the bad guy of this movie. I was like, when she starts talking about that's why I want her powers. I was like, but are you just gonna steal the children from that Wanda? Is that fair? That is her plan, because she doesn't realize that the children aren't connected to her as in Wanda, whoever in whatever multiverse. Yeah.
they are connected to that specific Wanda from that specific universe.
Or did she plan on killing that Wanda and take her place?
I mean, sort of, I guess.
But then, because is that fair to that one? She's being very selfish.
Well, yeah, and she's not considering that she's doing it to herself.
Yeah, exactly. Until the very end. So we have all these like, she kills dozens of wizards. There's probably some collateral damage in the beginning with the demon thing. All this just to arrive at, oh shit, they're not my children. Oh, I guess even though I have the powers to control reality, sometimes, you kind of have to live with your, sadness.
Yeah.
It's these things that other movies that doesn't have superpower characters in them deal with all the time, like dealing with loss, grief, or just dealing with divorce. And these are very strong, hugely emotional movies. But because you have all these superpowered characters, they can't handle emotions well. Like, we never see her cry. Even towards the end when she...
There are tears, but she's not crying.
Yeah, it's always angry tears, just a tear.
Just the one.
Yeah, like the scene where she realizes that the children are scared of her, that she doesn't just break down and realize what she's done. Like...
Yeah, she should have had a complete meltdown by then.
Yeah.
And even see, they even could have, like, rewritten the ending that her complete meltdown would have been her destroying herself, instead of just being calm and going, okay, yeah, if... I know this is bad, and I'm gonna destroy it all now. Bye!
Yeah, there's so many more interesting ways you could dive deep into the emotions of these characters.
Because everything she does is emotionally driven here. She wants to have her children. Yeah. She doesn't care who she's hurting, as long as she is happy.
But it's not...
And we come to a certain point where there is emotions, but they're not showing it properly.
Yeah, it's always emotions that then have a physical effect on the movie. Like, I'm so sad that I don't have my children, so I'm gonna break the rules of the multiverse and steal my children from another reality. Like, wait, how about you talk to a therapist?
Yeah. How about you, I don't know, marry some dude and have children of your own?
Grieve for Vision. He was the love of your life. Yeah, grieve for him, but then move on.
Use Tinder.
Like most people do. You gotta move on.
They say that there's not only one love in your life, there's always more than one.
Yeah. Or why was her plan to steal the children from another Wanda? Why not go and find a universe where Vision still lives and be with him instead?
Also, I mean, why did she fucking fall in love with I don't even know what to call him. He's
a robot, but he kind of becomes real in one of the movies, I think.
Yeah, with one of the Infinity Stones, but how?
Because it's the Reality Stone, I think.
It doesn't make sense, though.
Or some stone? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's the Reality Stone, I think.
Vision is a big question mark, what he really is and what his powers were.
Lady... Stop. Don't fall in love with some mechanically created reality thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Go find a real dude.
But even so, that was kind of what I hoped that WandaVision was going to be. That she was going to realize, I'm in a dream world. Because I couldn't face my sorrow. But now I have to move on, which... I guess it's a little bit of that in the end, but then we have this movie where she obviously didn't move on.
No.
There's a lot of all of these characters, and that's something I realized, like I said, they're also emotionally stunted because they have these superpowers.
Yeah.
And I guess also, you can't make an exciting adventure action movie if everyone's just going to sit down and talk about their problems.
Sure.
But then the movie shouldn't be so much about these characters and their infighting over emotions.
No.
It's always
should
like,
be
you
more
killed
of a
my
physical
friend.
Thing you need to find, or revenge.
Yeah, or like, I'm sad because this happened and now I'm angry and I'm going to destroy the universe. Like, just make it a silly comic movie where there are aliens, or I am whatever, I am Thanos and I'm going to destroy the universe. We're going to stop you. if you're not gonna 100% commit to make emotionally mature movies, then just skip that altogether. Because what you're creating here is just deeply flawed and like psychologically frail characters.
Yeah, it's just messy.
Even Doctor Strange, like he hasn't moved on from
Christine.
Christine. Like he lives alone, even though it's been 7 years since he decided I can't be with Christine. Also, why couldn't he be with Christine? The only thing they talk about in this movie is like, I was scared. Yeah, everyone is scared of being with the one they love because they're afraid of like, if I tell them I love them, they might reject me or whatever. But that's part of...
Yeah, you might lose them sometime, but that's part of loving someone.
Instead, he just lives alone, and like I said, they touch upon these things because they actually ask a couple of times in the movie, "Are you happy?" And I wish that was a bigger part of the movie, because the only we get is like, "Are you happy?" Oh, yeah, sure.
I mean,
I'm not on the inside.
Yeah, you get it. Either that or I'm happy with what I have.
Yeah,
and there's no point in trying to have something else.
Yeah, and in the very end, he asks Wong, and he's like, "That's a tough question." Yeah, I know it is. That's why we have hundreds of other stories being told about happiness and emotions.
Yeah,
and he actually says like, "Yeah, I've had to sacrifice a lot of things in my life, but I see it. It's worth it for what I have here."
Exactly.
And of course, I have you, my friend. Yeah. He is an emotionally mature character, which you don't see a lot of in these movies.
Mature. Yes.
Mature, yeah. And it's starting to annoy me that most of these characters are so, like, stunted and frail that they really create a lot of the problems themselves. I mean, it took Spider-Man 3 movies to reach the conclusion that with great power comes great responsibility. Oh my God!
That we got really? In the original movies straight away.
Yeah. And that's even something, I saw this video by a YouTuber called CJ the X, where he talked about No Way Home. And he talked about the whole trilogy of Spider-Man movies, how he actually liked that they have like, themes about responsibility and strength and, growing up and stuff like that, which is true. The Spider-Man movies, at least the first one, I haven't seen the second one, they are some of the more interesting movies in the Marvel universe.
Oh, yeah, they definitely are. The second one as well.
Yeah, maybe I should check that one out, actually, at some point.
Because that one actually handles grief and moving on and finding a replacement.
Yeah. And then he mentions that in No Way Home, the whole thing that with great power comes great responsibility, he thought that was already something Spider-Man knew about because Uncle Ben is already dead in this version of Spider-Man.
Oh, that's right.
And the person in every version of Spider-Man, every comic book version, every movie version, Uncle Ben tells Spider-Man or Peter Parker, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
But no, in this version, Uncle Ben was just a fucking deadbeat who doesn't exist, and it takes him instead then 3 movies and a fucking multiverse trouble to realize that, maybe I shouldn't only react emotionally and actually think about what actions and reactions, are.
And what they can lead to.
Yeah, but no, he needed 2 other older Spider-Men from other universes to, show him that in the end. And it's an entire movie.
And his one living relative to actually die.
Yeah, exactly. So you needed 3 movies, over 6 hours of runtime to reach, actions have consequences.
Bitch, we know.
Yeah, with great power comes great responsibility. I get it now. And that was when I thought I was gonna, when I was watching that, this is a precursor to our discussion about No Way Home, I thought I was going to lose my mind when that happened in the end. I was so close to just fucking putting my fist through the screen. Spoilers, because we haven't talked about this, but fuck it. I loathe that movie. It is one of the worst movies I have ever seen. It is such utter filth that it made me physically angry when I watched it.
See, that's what I kind of felt about this one. Yeah,
because it's the same. Here, it's so emotionally stunted. These characters, they can't sit down and talk to each other. All they can do is fight and punch and throw magic at each other.
These people are supposed to be adults.
They're adults. He has gray in his hair. He's in his 40s. Talk. Communicate. Stop fighting. You're risking the multiverse because you can't talk to each other.
Yeah.
What is happening?
And then we throw in some fucking fan service on top of that to try and make this movie a little bit better. They disguise the issue of the non-existent story and the very simple solutions by adding Stretchy Man from Fantastic Four.
I'm shaking. I'm so angry. Jesus Christ.
Charles Xavier.
Yeah. Let's talk about that scene. Because I was actually happy that the movie was kind of reference-free for a while.
Yeah.
But then there is the one scene where you have the Easter egg overload when he gets to that other reality, where the Avengers doesn't exist. Instead, you have the Illuminati. First of all, that's so silly.
Yes. Why would you choose to call it the Illuminati?
Yeah. But there, you see the alternate reality Captain America, who I guess is Captain Britain, or Captain Carter, as they call her. You see another version of we already said this, Captain Marvel. But then we see, what's his name? Is it Steven something? What's the Stretchy Man guy called?
I don't remember. I'm trying to find the 2D dude, first of all.
It's Reed Richards, I think.
Yeah,
They introduce Reed Richards and they say, from the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And then the last member of that order of Illuminati is Professor Xavier. And it's the Patrick Stewart version of Professor Xavier.
Yeah, Charles Xavier.
Yeah, and that was a big, oh my god! Because this is, why I found that scene mostly creepy. Because that is them now introducing and fully integrating 20th Century Fox's Marvel movies into the MCU, because 20th Century Fox owned Fantastic Four, and they owned the X-Men, and of course they have hinted at it before because the guy who plays Silver
Surfer?
Guy. No, not Silver Surfer. Fast guy, whatever it's called. Wanda's brother.
Yeah, Pietrov.
Right. They had the version of him from the X-Men movies.
Yes.
The good actor from
American Horror Stories.
Horror Story, yeah. He appeared in WandaVision. I saw pictures of it. I didn't see the scene, but I saw pictures of it.
He's in there.
Yeah, so that was like fun little hint that, so somewhere in this reality, that version of X-Men exists. Okay. But now it's fully Patrick Stewart as Dr. X is in this universe.
That is one of the multiverses, I suppose.
Yeah. And then, of course, that now Fantastic Four also exists. But that means that Fantastic Four exists probably in most other universes.
Yeah.
So now, it was for me, it was kind of a statement where Disney said, now we own X-Men. Now we own Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And it was almost like they were just looking over at Sony all we need now is Spider-Man. Because Sony refuses to release Spider-Man, which I think is good for them. You shouldn't give in to Disney. Don't. Either way. I thought that was super creepy because it was basically them just stating an example we have everything now.
Yeah.
And also it was just silly ooh, that could have just been random characters, but no, it had to be Reed Richards. It had to be Professor Xavier. Ugh. I hated that scene.
But wait, the guy who played Reed Richards now?
That's
Krasinski?
The guy from The Office. Yeah. Mike Wazowski. What's his name? John Krasinski.
John Krasinski.
Yeah.
He hasn't played the stretchy dude anywhere before, right?
No. He has been working on his very, very good other movies, A Quiet Place.
Right.
But now because those are 20th Century Fox movies, but now when Disney owns 20th Century Fox, they own him as well, so now he's going to be in 100 Marvel movies.
Are they going to introduce the rest of the Fantastic Four then?
Well, I guess so, because he can't be the only member of Fantastic Four.
No.
So now we know that's the next phase of this now. They're going to introduce X-Men and Fantastic Four, and it's all going to be one happy family under Disney.
And it feels like we're going to restart, because we've had the Fantastic Four movies twice.
Yeah.
We've had the X-Men movies twice.
Yeah, and they're going to... of course, then, since this was a new guy playing Stretchy Man guy, it's going to be a new Fantastic Four, not the versions we've seen earlier.
Sure, but then they might
Patrick
fuck
Stewart
around.
Huh?
They might fuck around and just, but that's just another universe. Another multiverse. However, isn't Captain America actually the fire dude in one of the Fantastic Four versions?
Yeah.
So that doesn't work.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. He can't be two. No, he can't be two.
No, and his contract was up after Endgame. He's never returning to that. Dead. It's never going to happen.
He's not dumb enough to do that. But yeah, we will have all of the X-Men, though, because
and I'm pretty sure
the two X-Mens have merged.
Exactly. So they're going to have Nick Holt playing Beast, and they're going to have whatever his name is playing Cyclops. That's already, they're already roped into the whole thing by this point. It's going to happen at some point. Give them a couple of years to be a little older, and then they're going to start making X-Men movies as well. And they're going to be terrible and bland and boring, not at all good like the old X-Men movies. It's going to suck. We just know it. Fantastic Four was never great, any of the movies, so that's fine, but I don't care.
Sure.
It was just, I just saw the next 20 years of Marvel movies being introduced in that scene. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, because if they want to, they can just no, but we want to make the other Captain Marvel movie with this version, and they just make her version of it.
That might happen.
Slightly different.
Nobody seemed to like Brie Larson.
Yeah.
And I mean, she has signed on.
Not on screen, at least.
Yeah, on screen. Well,
some people seem to like her off screen. Apparently,
all those interviews for Endgame, they were very. You
saw those, but I saw bits of it. But I've recently realized that there are a few people who actually like her because she has quietly distant herself from alleged abusers in movies and in the Hollywood in general on award shows and shit. So,
all right,
she's growing on people for that reason, not on screen.
They recently announced that she's going to be in the next Fast and Furious movie. So I don't know.
No,
Vin Diesel spread the news on Instagram or something. I just saw it on Letterboxd. Either way, yeah, that scene was terrible, just because of the precedent it set. But also, that whole world, it was kind of funny that the Ultron project seemed to be a success in that world. That was kind of funny, because they had the Ultron security robots walking around, and they could control them. It was that was a good, because no one seemed to react to the Ultron robots. No one said, "Oh, Ultron." I reacted to it, because
me too.
That's funny, and they didn't draw attention to it. It was just Ultron robots walking around.
Yeah.
That's fun. I wonder, do Iron Man exist in any of these universes?
Or did he die in all of them?
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Does Vision exist in other universes where he didn't die?
I mean, there is, in the comic books, there is a new Iron Man after he dies.
Yeah, I know.
A girl. So maybe she'll have a movie eventually?
I don't know. It's introducing the multiverses now means they can either bring back any character they want, because they can just throw enough money on them. Even Hugh Jackman, who's after Logan said, "This is the last time I'm playing Wolverine."
Yeah,
they'll just throw $50 million at him, and he's like, "All right, I'll do it." And just bring him back, because you can solve any problem you want with money.
And they can introduce anyone they want from any of the Marvel comic books.
Yeah,
no matter how silly or dumb it would seem.
Yeah.
And they can just blame it on the multiverses and the now ability to travel across the multiverses.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all of this.
What bothers me most though about this? No, it's not.
No, because
one of the details.
Movie. Yeah.
No, but one of the details I didn't want to mention before that bothers me.
Yeah.
the mid-credit scene.
Yes.
That was... What's her face?
Charlize Theron.
Yes.
Bay. Charlize, if you're out there, I'm available.
Yes. Yeah. One of the most beautiful people in the world.
Yes.
What she was wearing reminded me of the Eternals.
Yeah, she looked like an Eternal because I didn't finish those silly suits.
I didn't finish the Eternals, but from what I understand, well, because Disney, you fuckers, did not subtitle the sign language.
Oh.
I can't finish a movie when I don't understand what they're saying with their hands when one of the characters are speaking solely in sign language.
Well, now you know how deaf people feel, Rebecca. When they watch regular movies.
Because there are always CCs. You can always put on subtitles.
Damn it. All right, whatever.
They didn't subtitle it in English, and I don't think we had Swedish subtitles for some reason.
You should probably check that again, because I'm pretty sure there are going to be subtitles in some language that you can understand.
Yeah, what, Spanish?
Either way, yeah. But she was an Eternal. That was obvious.
Right, because in the Eternals,
you recognize the suits from the trailers.
And they do talk about there are more Eternals than the ones we follow in that movie.
Yeah, and then I guess there has to be Eternals in other universes.
Sure,
but
yeah.
I didn't know that Eternals they governed over the multiverse, because here she talks about intrusions, and intrusions is a thing you do into other universes.
They govern over specific areas, so perhaps because his whatever has done an intrusion on her area, she will have to take care of it. Yeah. Or perhaps she's just governing over this specific area where this happened. I don't know.
Yeah.
And they are controlled by some other higher being.
Yeah, I've heard, I listened to some podcasts where they talked about that movie. It sounded terrible.
And also, I just want to comment on the fact that with the Eternals, and now with this specifically, they have dragged in some of Hollywood royalty into this fucking mess. I mean, you have Angelina Jolie in the Eternals, and now you have fucking Charlize Theron. Mm-hmm. If they get a hand on Meryl Streep, I'll die. They're not far off.
They can get anyone. Because they have all the money in the world.
That fucking terrifies me.
Eventually, everyone is going to be involved in Marvel. Or Disney, at least.
Somehow.
And every cinema in the world is just going to be like Disney houses. Where you go and watch the latest Disney product. Like it's gonna happen eventually. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, but now now it feels really real and really close.
Do you understand how I felt for the last 5-6 years?
I think even my cat is feeling it now. If you can hear him in the background.
I'll link you. I don't remember the name of it now, but I'll link you a great video about that by some. Broe Deschanel is her name.
I know about her.
Yeah, she made a great movie about a great video about the death of cinema, where she explained it very well, and she brought up some points that I haven't heard other people mention. Very good video, where she talks about this and the monopolization of the industry by Disney.
It's not just the industry though; it's the art form by now.
That too, yeah.
It's like trying to... Oh, someone did that. Someone copyrighted a paint color.
Jesus. Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
However, that video has a hopeful ending, so yeah, I'm gonna send that to you. But either way, we should probably wrap it up. We've been doing this for almost an hour and a half now.
Yeah, sorry. I just had like an existential crisis. Basically.
Yeah. We were talking a lot about we spun off from that horrible Easter egg scene into just talking about Disney.
Yeah. Which is what they wanted, though.
Yes, but just to get back to the movie, the biggest problem with this movie, as a movie in and of itself,
it does not work.
It doesn't work because nothing happens in it.
Everything is just explaining points that happened in other places.
Doctor Strange has no arc.
Nope.
In the beginning, he's like, Christine asks him, like, are you happy? He's like, sure, yeah, I'm happy. And in the end, he's like, Yeah, he manages to like get one sentence where he talks to her like, "Oh, it could never be us because I'm afraid."
No, he says that I love you, and she says, "Well, tough nuggies."
Yeah.
Because she knows that deep down she does not love him enough to deal with him.
Yeah, and that's also like, hey, an emotionally mature character, because he's like, yeah, maybe, we're not supposed to, have the perfect, whatever.
Yeah.
And, we, even though you love me, we were never really meant to be together in any of the universes, it seems.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we said before, just fucking move on. Which he kind of, in the last scene, feels like he's kind of doing, because he's walking around, he's happy, and
And he repairs the watch, because he's kept it broken, because it reminds him of her.
But, once again, do we really need 2 hours and a multiverse to explain to characters to move on emotionally?
No.
Like...
However, I suppose they needed this one to get rid of Wanda.
Yeah, they need to get rid of Wanda because she's too powerful.
Yeah.
They needed to introduce someone who can actually control the multiverses, or travel through them at least, in a controllable way.
Yes.
This is all just to introduce stuff so they can later do other
make
movies.
more movies that will reference
all
this.
This is.
This is Resident Evil... which one is it? Number 7?
Absolution? Number 5.
Yeah. This is... traveling.
It's to get stuff from point A to point B.
So that they can utilize everything else eventually. And then at one point going... We referenced it. It's from Doctor Strange too. Just
exactly.
It.
Yeah, exactly. And even though it is really beautiful to look at, sometimes I like tiny details and the costumes were cool and you had those Raimi moments. Yeah, you had actual direction from Raimi, even though it was kind of overload sometimes.
Yeah.
Which I'm wondering, like, if, like, do more Raimi stuff, and he's like, oh, fine.
Do that.
The staircase makes a sound, whatever, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you had music that, I wouldn't call it great, but at least you could hear the music and feel the music this time.
It was better than it usually is in Marvel.
Yes, it was actually, an actual score.
Yeah.
But
that's not enough. That's not enough.
And all that was in service of nothing.
Yeah.
And it's just sad. This isn't the worst one by far.
No. But it's
certainly not the best one.
It's not the worst one. But it's still one of the worst ones because it is solely based on plot points and things from other stuff. It's not... It doesn't work on its own at all. It doesn't even work as a sequel properly because it doesn't have enough to do with the original Doctor Strange.
I don't even know. The original movie only existed to introduce him as a character.
And the Time Stone.
Yeah, this was where he was supposed to have an arc, and we were supposed to. Yeah, this is the big, the big dark middle chapter of a trilogy, if you want to, but where he, has. The emotional moments and drama, but no.
No, instead we got to learn more about Wanda, and then she dies.
Yeah. So why wasn't this... They could almost have called this a Wanda movie.
Yeah. But no, we can't give Wanda a movie.
No, she just had a TV show. So.
Hello? Yeah. And people love Doctor Strange, right?
The thing is that they're trying to sell him as the new Iron Man, the new leader.
Yes, I know. He is... Yes, he will become the new...
Which... I was sure that was going to be Spider-Man, but okay.
Well, I think...
He was the protege of Iron Man?
I think Doctor Strange is going to become the new Captain America.
Oh.
And
right.
Spider-Man will become the new Iron Man.
Okay, fair enough.
However, none of the rest... Fuck all, I don't know.
Yeah, and also, I gotta say, this is probably the last time I'm going to watch them all.
Yes.
I mean...
I said that when... I called my boyfriend on the way home. I will never watch another Marvel movie after this. I give up. Yeah,
because the last one was so fucking bad, and I've only heard bad things about Eternals, and I thought Endgame was kind of boring. Nothing has been... it hasn't been interesting, and I actually rewatched some of Infinity War, like this Christmas, so a few months ago, and because I remembered I actually liked that one. So I rewatched it because they had that IMAX enhanced thing on Disney Plus. I was like, ooh, I have a 4K TV. I should watch this. This movie kind of sucks because all they do is fight.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen a genuinely good Marvel movie in I don't know how long.
Years.
Yeah.
Iron Man.
So yeah, I'm
one.
Yeah, and so I am done. I mean, I've said that a long time, and I've always like reluctantly come back to them because that's the formula. Even people don't like them. Well, I gotta watch them because I've seen the other ones. We've talked about that as well. How they suck in even people who don't like them. Yeah. But at this point, I don't even want to watch them to hate them. You know, I don't care anymore. I'm done. No. I'm so done with it.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that I can say for sure I will never ever watch another one. I mean, they might introduce a character that I want to.
I'm not gonna pay for it, at least.
No, that's the one. I am not gonna pay to watch another Marvel movie.
I'm done. Yeah. So, I think we'll wrap it up there.
We'll wrap it up. Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, thank you for listening if you listened to the whole thing. Sorry for the ranty nature of this, but... Yeah, and sorry for getting, like, legitimately angry there for a second, but that's just... Talking about this movie, I realized... Yeah, this movie was bad.
I mean, we've done that before when we talk about Marvel in general, so...
Yeah. And, check us out on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. If you want to listen to episodes like this in advance, and, if you want to support us, get some more perks. Or other than that, just, follow us and subscribe on YouTube or wherever you're watching this. Just keep on listening and tell your friends about us. What are you doing?
My cat is telling me to stop.
Oh, okay.
He's like, you're done. You've been going on for too long.
We'll see you in the next episode when we're going to talk about what? Do we have a plan for that?
Don't remember. We do have a plan, I don't remember, so it'll be a surprise.
It'll be a surprise. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening. And until the next time, have a good one.
Bye.
The SpoilerCast is part of Please Don't Make a Scene. It is hosted by Tobias Vedén and Rebecca Vedén. It is produced and edited by Tobias Vedén. Executive producer is Annika Vedén. If you want to support our podcasting endeavors, check us out on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene, where you can gain access to early access episodes, exclusive episodes, commentary tracks, and much more. Also want to give a big shout out to our patrons, Laura Kinney, Mom, and Dad.